stuff.
Hi.
Okay? I don't need to do that. Yeah, so it's going to be on the website, guys. So we'll talk about it as we get through it. Yeah. Recording what we're saying.
Hi.
Get it out, people. Get it out. There's a big camera out there looking right here.
Okay.
Okay, hey, we will explain what we're doing with this and how you guys can find these and watch them if. All right, we're doing something tough today, guys. We're gonna find the x and y intercepts of a linear equation. You guys know how to graph using slope-intercept form. The quiz, little pop quiz yesterday showed you guys, most of you guys know how to do that. That's good. All right. Now, everybody put your arms up in the air like a coordinate system, an x-axis and a y-axis. Everybody got it? Except for our special cases. Hey, Bobby.
Hello. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Bobby.
All right. If a line has some kind of slope to it, we're not talking about the special cases. Does everybody agree that the line eventually will hit the x-axis and the y-axis somewhere?
Yes.
That's what we're trying to find today. Where and where? Okay? So, some couple things to keep in mind. The x-intercept of a line is the point where the graph or line crosses the x-axis. Now, the y value of this point is always 0. That's going to come into play later. The y-intercept of a line is the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. Guess what the x value of that point always is? 0. And believe it or not, you guys already know this. This is the b if the equation's in slope-intercept form. You guys already know about the y-intercept, right? Everybody shake your head, pretend you're paying attention. There we go. Okay. All right, here's how we're going to do this. You guys got to state the x and y intercepts of each line, and then use those intercepts to graph your equation.
Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you. Someone raise your hand and tell us what form is that equation in right now? Bless you.
Bless you.
Let me say it again. What form? What's the name of the form that linear equation is in currently, right now?
Standard.
It's not standard. Don't blurt it out. Raise your hand. But I'll give you a hint. It's not standard form. Riley.
Y-intercept?
There's a word that goes in front of y-intercept. How about slope-intercept form? Riley, what is slope-intercept form in your own words?
Slope.
Guys, who knows what slope-intercept form is? The equation. Tully.
Y equals mx plus b.
Right. Guys, you've got to put that in the long-term memory. We've been talking about that for a couple days now. Slope-intercept form. Does everybody agree these two equations are in slope-intercept form?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. We're not going to worry about the slope right now. We're going to worry about the y-intercept, or the b. Maybe jot that down. What's y-intercept or the b? What's the y-intercept or the b of that line? Val Fresh. -2. Give it to me as a point. Okay. The y-intercept is pretty easy to find when it's in slope-intercept form because that constant there at the end, okay, is the y-intercept. Always pair it up. You guys did a really good job of that on the quiz. Okay? Now, the x-intercept. And you guys can totally abbreviate that x-int. You don't have to write out the whole word intercept. The x-intercept is a point where the y value is 0. So leave the x part of the point blank and put a 0 where the y value is. Okay? We don't know this x value yet. What we're going to do now, this is the tricky part, we're going to take 0 and plug it in for y. And we're going to solve that thing for x. Okay? Again, this is a little bit of work. So I'm going to go 0 equals 2/3 x minus 2. I took 0, because it's the y value of the point, and put it in for y. Okay? We're down to one variable, only x. Let's solve this thing for x. What would we do to start? There's a couple things that we have to do, but what would be the first thing we would do to start to solve that thing for x? There's one of two things you could do that would, I think, be equally correct. Tully.
Subtract 0 from both sides.
That's not going to help us in any way. Nice try. Subtracting 0 is not going to accomplish much. Good try, though. Okay, you're going to solve that for x. What are you going to do? Take a risk.
Subtract 2/3 from each side.
I wouldn't. That x is going to stay right there.
Add 2.
Either you're going to add 2, or you're going to. I would clear fractions. Guys, hey, let's get. We don't like fractions, so watch how this is really going to help us if we clear fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. Okay, I'll do the difficult side.
That's hard.
The left is 0. Who can multiply the right side by 3? Come on, guys. Practice that. You guys did a great job in the Chapter 2 test, clearing fractions. Big Will.
2x minus 6.
2x minus 6. So 0 equals 2x minus 6. We got rid of our fractions. Now we're going to do kind of what Chuck Smith said, but it's no longer a 2, it's a 6. Everybody add 6 to both sides, and you will get really fast and good at this. It will not take us this long when you do your homework. And I'm going to switch it around because I like my variable first. Going over here with it. Does everybody agree that 2x equals 6?
Yeah.
That's what each side now says? Okay. Gibbs, last step. How do you solve for x there, my friend? What's x equal, Gibbs? Genius. Now, we now know what x is when y is 0. Take that x equals 3, plug it into our x-intercept. That seems like it's a lot of work, guys, but you're going to see doing the same thing over and over and over. It's not bad. It is writing a lot of work down and showing all your steps. But they're easy equations to solve. All right, now we know the y-intercept and the x-intercept. We're going to graph those 2 points. Go down to your graph. It was at 0, -2. Put a big old point. There's the y-intercept at 0, 2. The x-intercept is at 3, 0. 3, 0 is right there. Our x-intercept. Everybody grab your straight edge. You just graph that line. Using x and y intercepts. Lily, you still using your ID? Good. Good idea. All right. So we're finding the x and y intercepts. Let's see if we can do the second one in half the time. I think we can. All right. Here we go. The y-intercept. Dolson, what's the y-intercept of that line? -3. Excellent. Give it to me as a point.
0,
Halfway done. Great job. Now, the x-intercept is the point something, comma, 0. We don't know the something yet. We don't know the x value of it. We know the y value has to be 0. Everybody take the 0, plug it in for the y, and let's solve for x. 0 equals negative 3 over 2x minus 3. Antoinette, first step, solving for x there.
Clear fractions.
Multiplying by,
-2.
I would multiply by -2, because the negative sign's with the 3. But 2, you actually could multiply by -2 to get the right answer, but I'm afraid you make some sign mistakes. All right, Antoinette, multiply everything by 2.
0 equals -3 minus 6.
Say it loud and proud again, so they can hear you.
0 equals -3x minus
Minus 6. Solve that one for x now, guys. Add 6 to both sides, divide by -3. When we do this, guys, in slope-intercept form, you're going to have, it's going to be, all of them are going to be a lot like this. The 0 is going to be on the left. So I'm going to add 6. Add 6. -3x equals 6. Divide by -3. Antoinette, what's x?
-2.
Excellent. Pair it up. Pair it up with its as a point.
Oh, 0
The other way around, because that's the, remember the x is -2. The x is -2, so you're going to say -2 comma 0. And that's the x-intercept. So we got a y-intercept of 0, -3, and an x-intercept of -2 comma 0. Graph those points. 0, -3 is right there. -2 comma 0 is to the left of the origin there, people. Draw your line. That is graphing using the x and y intercepts. We're not using slope-intercept form today. We're using the x and y intercepts. Now, hold on. Leave it on that first page real quick. Sean Kelly.
Wait, you multiplied each side by 2,
Yes, sir.
then
That cleared up. What did that do?
2 times -6 though? But you mean -3? I mean -6? Oh, my bad.
It's -3
Yeah.
times 2 is.
-6 was added.
Sorry, then you add 6 to both sides. Agree? Guys, show your work right nicely. You guys can do this stuff. All right. When they're in slope-intercept form, from now on, if they're in slope-intercept form, unless the directions say find the x and y intercepts, you should graph those using slope-intercept form. This is way easier. When you should find the x and y intercepts, go to the back, is when the equations are in standard form. That's the best time to use the x and y intercepts. Say again?
Thank you.
Divide by 2? Yeah. Here's the deal. You've got to read your directions carefully and then do it the way the directions say to. Which you're going to find out, guys, it's easier to graph equations in standard form by using the x and y intercepts. I get what JB's saying. He wants to solve this for y, put it in slope-intercept form. That's one way to do it. That's the way you know how to do it right now. But you're going to see, let's find the x and y. We're going to have to find the x and y intercepts because that's what the directions are going to say. So when we have to find the x and y intercepts, guys, everybody put 2 blank points right below the equations. Throw zeros right in the middle with commas, one in front, one behind. There's the x-intercept. The second point is going to be the y-intercept. Okay? This is just a sneaky way to have you guys do 2 problems. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to, for the first problem, we're going to take a y value of 0 and plug it in for y. Because y is 0 for the x-intercept. All right, So here's how we're going to do this one. 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. These are going to be real easy to solve. And that's going back to JB's question. There's no fraction. This is going to be easy. All right. Let's solve this thing for x. Let's see. What's 2 times 0?
0.
So does everybody agree that 3x equals 6? Divide both sides by 3. Guess what x equals?
2.
Genius. Take that 2. I'm going for the world record for the most arrows in one problem.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
The x-intercept is 2, 0. Now, we're starting all over. We're going to take x, we're going to take 0 and plug it in for x. We're going to start all over. Somebody tell me what to write. More than 2 or 3 people. Boss, take a risk.
3 and then 0.
Say 3 times 0.
3 times 0 plus 2y equals 6.
Guys, that is that. Now we're going to do the y-intercept. Moss, 3 times 0.
0.
2y equals 6. Guess what the y-intercept is, guys?
3.
It's 2 short problems. It seems like we took a long time to do these, but you will be amazed at how fast and good you get at when you do the work. Okay? So here's the answer as far as what are the x and y intercepts. The x-intercept is 2, 0. The y-intercept is 0, 3. Go down to your graph and graph those 2 points and draw your line.
Wait, so will it always turn out for the other way around? Will the y always be the x?
I mean, will the y-intercept?
Always be the number of x?
No.
Will the 2 always be the 3?
Oh, no, it will not always be. I see what you're saying. It's just because look what happens here. The coefficients of x and y, you multiply them together, make the constant on the right, the 6. So 2 times 3 makes it 6. That doesn't happen every time. They are kind of nice to you guys, and they make problems that work out nice and neat.
The next one does.
Right, the next one, you'll see a lot of those. So we got the point 2, 0, and 0, 3. So 2, 0, 0, 3. Okay, make sure you have those points graphed correctly.
That's a pretty good line that time.
What's that?
Pretty good line.
That's pretty good straight. That's pretty good freehand line right there, people.
I think you can actually like make a line like with the thing like.
Yeah, I think I could, but that's way too much work.
Okay. This sounds like.
All right. Again, JB caught on to this one pattern. It's kind of doesn't happen every time, but notice, guys, what's 3 times 2?
6.
And what's 3 times 4?
5.
Now, it doesn't happen every time, but a lot of the problems they give you, they want them to work out evenly, you know, because we want our x and y intercepts to be a nice even integer. So that happens a lot in these, but not every time. So don't think that always happens. All right. Everybody put the 2 blank points right underneath there. And then where do the zeros go, guys, when we're trying to find the x and y intercepts? Where we're going to put zeros at? Lily,
Well, you put them in the where like that.
put them right in the middle. Put commas in front and in the back. You're always going to start that way. Now, we want to find out what x is when y is 0. So everybody put 0 in for y. Write it all out and solve it for x. Go. Put 0 in for y. Solve it for x. Perfect. Raise your hand if you got x is 4.
Me.
Gosh. Write that into your coordinate, guys. Write that into your point. That's the x-intercept, 4 comma 0. Now, start all over. Take 0 and plug it in for x, because that's the x value of the y-intercept. Three times 0 is 0. Don't lose your negative sign in front of that 4, please, people. These equations are pretty easy to solve. You'll find that out. How many people got the y to be negative 3 when x is 0? Good. More. More people. That's great. Plug that in. Negative 3. Box it. Now, go to your graph and graph those 2 points. Draw your pretty line. Go to your graph. 4, 0. 0, negative 3. Okay, x and y intercepts. Guys, you're going to have to solve equations tonight, show a lot of work. And I would use your notes as you do this, because you're not going to remember all this stuff as you guys go through it. Okay? All right, last problem. You guys are doing great. Okay. Gigi,
Okay.
you want to read it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read it loud and proud.
Lincoln Middle School needs to make $4,740 selling yearbooks to cover the cost of making the yearbooks. Print yearbooks X costs $60 each, and digital yearbooks Y cost $15 each.
Okay, stop right there. Guys, I guess there's 2 kinds of yearbooks. Print, like an actual physical hard copy, that's called a print yearbook, are $60, they're expensive. Or you can get a digital yearbook, like sent to you, put it on your device, your phone or your computer or whatever. Those are only $15 each. Okay, you don't have to make anything there, that's why they're cheaper. So there's 2 kinds of yearbooks, a physical yearbook and a digital yearbook. Does everybody understand? The print yearbooks cost $60 each, the digital ones are only $15 each. Keep going. You're doing great, Gigi.
This can be represented by the equation 60x plus 15y equals 4,740.
Okay, so $60 for the print yearbooks, and there's X amount of those. We don't know exactly how many. But then there's $15 for the digital copies. We don't know that's Y. We don't know how many, but we're going to multiply them together. And if you add all of them up, we got to make $4,740. Everybody kind of understand that equation? Okay. All right. Let's find the x and y intercepts of that equation. You will need a calculator. I did when I did this problem. All right. So everybody when we find the x and y intercepts, put those 2 blank points. Geraldi, where do I put zeros at?
At the middle.
How about the middle?
Yeah.
In the middle. Okay, we're going to do 2 problems. The first one, we're going to find the x-intercept. So everybody throw 0 in for y and solve it for x. Seraldi, in your head, 15 times 0.
0.
Genius. What do I do to both sides to solve it for x now, John? Grab your calculator. Can you?
79.
Somebody verify that.
Verify.
Is it 79? Okay, x is 79. Go back, people, and put that into the x value of the point. And that's the x-intercept. Start over. Take 0 for x and plug it in for the x. So I'm going to go 60 times 0 plus 15y equals 4740. We know that 60 times 0 is 0. Divide both sides by 15. Kelly, what's that number?
316.
316. Somebody verify that. Verified. Take 316, put it as the y value when x is 0. We're almost done, guys. We're doing great. Okay. If we're going to graph this, I gave you guys a quadrant 1 graph. Are we going to go by ones?
No.
You have to be real careful with your intervals. Okay? Be real careful with your intervals.
Fives.
Well, it might not even be 5s. X, we know that x-axis,
Let's go by 10.
let's see, we got to get all the way to 79. Or we basically we got to get to 80 on our
Let's
axis.
go to 10. By
Okay.
10. 20.
10s, because then you're only going 2 boxes. Or 50s, you're only going 2 boxes. We know it's 0. And guys, you have to make equal intervals. You can't just go 0 and then go to like 60, 70. You can't do that. So let's go by 10s and see what happens. Going by 20s. Let's go by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay? The x-intercept is 79. It's going to be right before the 80. We maybe could have gone by 5s, and I think it would have been 1 extra box, but we could have got there. So 10s or 5s would have been good. But now, look at y. We got to get all the way up to 316. Okay? Let's go by 50s. It's not a bad way to do it. Which, I wouldn't put every 50 in there. I would skip a box and go to a hundo. Because that's going by 50s. Would you agree? So skip a box, 100, 200, 300, 400. We probably could have even spaced it out better than that. That's pretty tight there, but that's okay. So the x-intercept is at 0.79. Just eyeball it. Everybody go to 0 and just before 80. That's where 79's at. Okay? And the y is at 316, so we're going to go 0, comma 316 would be right above the 300. Doesn't have to be perfect. Draw your line through those 2 points. I wouldn't extend it past those points because we're talking about only positive numbers. That's why I gave you quadrant 1 only. All right, interpret the x and y intercepts. Big word, people. Put yourself in Mr. Tagg's class right now. What the bejesus does interpret mean?
Put it in like
Make sense of. Explain. Okay? Understand. What is the point? What does the point 79 comma 0 mean? The x-intercept. No, can't say that. For this problem, guys, what does the point 79 comma 0 mean? Think about what Gigi read at the beginning. Antoinette. No, it doesn't have anything to do with slope. Good try, though. Good guess. JB. Which ones? Guys, you could buy, or I think we're using the word sell. We have to sell 79 print. And how many digital ones would we sell then, JB? No. If we sold 79 print ones, how many digital ones did we sell? 0 digital. Because it's the point 79 comma 0. Okay? So if we sold 0 digital ones, we'd have to sell 79 print ones to make our money that we need to sell. But what about the y-intercept of 0.316? Somebody tell me what that means. It has a lot to do with this last explanation. Boss?
They would have to sell 316 digital and then 0 print.
Right, you'd sell 316 digital and 0 print ones, and you'd be okay. You'd make the money that you have to make to break even there. Okay, that's what the x and y intercepts mean, and I know we test you guys on that. Okay, there's always a question in the word problems. Explain what they mean.
It's how you do the stack.